Lesson 2, digitizing. Now that we've got the map in the appropriate place, we are going to create a shapefile from the map. I've already showed you how to create a shapefile, so I've already done that here. So this lone oak is the one we're going to be working with. Right click on lone oak. Well, first of all, I usually like to change the color. I like to clear the fill and make the outline something that I'll be able to see easily. It makes it easier to work with. If the polygon is filled in, sometimes you can't see what's under it as you're trying to create the polygon. So typically it's best to start big and work your way in, meaning we will start with the track boundaries and then we will start to dissect it into the smaller compartments. We will start an edit session. In the Create Features window, we want to select the target feature, which is that lone oak shapefile. We're going to create a polygon, and now we're just going to trace. So I am not going to try to get this thing perfect. Just because this is a lesson, but now remember that there's still some, well, there's some discrepancy in our georeferencing. You're never going to get that part perfect, and we certainly do not know who the creator of the original map was and whether they did everything correct. So this is a useful tool, but certainly do not consider it to be a perfect substitute for an actual shapefile created from GPS data collected on the ground. That's not what this is. Okay, so boom. We have our shapefile. We want to save those edits so nothing happens to them. Now another important thing to do is that we want to sort of true this thing up and make sure it's a little bit, we want to get it as accurate as possible. So what we're going to do is come down here in your editing toolbar, and we're going to edit the vertices. So with your polygon selected, click Edit Vertices, and it shows every point that you clicked on the map. So we will zoom way in and we'll true this thing up. So with your selection tool, you can take these vertices and move them. If you want to create one, right click on the line, insert vertex. Is that right? Vertex or vertex? Insert. You can also delete it if you didn't really need it there. If it's sticking right there, that's because the snapping is turned on. and you can come up here in your snapping toolbar and deselect the snapping. Snapping is useful if you are if you're trying to if you have a roads layer on here and you want this to be adjacent to the roads, or it's a stream, you use the snapping and it'll automatically snap to that other feature. So anyway, this is how you would edit that. Click outside of it and it'll save it. Well, it'll move it and then you save it. So now we've got our track boundaries like we like them. Now we want to make this thing a little bit more detailed and break it down into the lots and show the actual stream side zone that is under the easement. So what we're going to do here is, again, we will select our polygon that we created, the lone oak shape file, and then we're going to use this cut polygons tool. And so we will start with, we'll just start over here with this lot 11. Again, so now you have to you have to start outside of the polygon. It won't work if you start inside, and you have to finish outside the polygon. So click anywhere outside, and then boom, boom, and remember, end outside the polygon with the double click, and there we've cut that and created a new feature in the polygon. So originally we just had this one row, which was everything. Now we've created this second feature, which is this here. And every time you cut a new piece in the polygon, it's going to add a row for a new feature. Let's go ahead and do lot number 12, and I'll show you here where the snapping comes in handy. Now we're cutting this one selected here. We need to select this polygon because that's the one we're cutting. We're going to use snapping here because you want these internal lines to match up perfectly. If they don't, and you say calculate the acreage, it's going to double count things if those are overlapped. So we're going to use snapping, cut polygon, start outside the selected polygon. The snapping will peg us to that vertex because we want it perfectly lined up. Boom, boom, and it's going to snap us to this outside line. There's not a vertex there, but now we've got a second feature. Oops, not what I wanted to do. So we will save edits, stop editing. Now we want to know the acreage. I'll open the attribute table. I've already added some fields in here. Actually, let's do one thing before we do the acreage. Go back into an edit section, and we're going to select lot 11. We use this ID field. You can make another one, but put lot 11 in there. Type, we'll say it's pasture. And no restricted. We'll call this one mix because it's a mix of woodland. Now here we're doing lots. You could just as easily have cut the polygon to be just the woodland there, and then you might call it natural hardwood. No restriction here. Save edits. Stop editing. Now we're going to calculate acres. So we've already got this acreage field created. Calculate geometry. Area, we want it in acres, and boom. So lot 12 is 23.18 acres. I'm sorry, lot 11, 23 acres. Lot 12, 117 acres. And the residual is 1250. And if you right click and hit statistics, it only does the one that's highlighted. So deselect statistics. Our entire property is 1391 acres. So I don't think that's exactly correct as far as what they're advertising, but it could be because we didn't digitize it perfectly. Anyway, that is that.